This week on G&T Sips and Giggles, Glenn and Tina continue their heartfelt journey into the world of the Opportunity Frocks drag pageant in part 2 of this special series. Join them as they reminisce about the dazzling performances, behind-the-scenes moments and unforgettable experiences from the contest. This episode also features captivating conversations about drag royalty and their impact on the scene. With warmth and insight, Glenn and Tina share personal stories and reflections that offer a deeper look into the magic of drag pageantry. So, grab your favourite drink and tune in for an engaging episode filled with nostalgia, elegance and the captivating world of Opportunity Frocks. Welcome back, Miss Legs. How are you?
I'm good, honey bun. How are you, Glenn Marshall Adams?
I am very well. Thank you very much for
asking.
You
look fabulous.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I didn't make much of an effort today. I'm in my slacks. The sun is shining outside.
It is indeed.
While we're recording this, so I'm wearing my oversized t-shirt because I need the air about me.
You do.
Don't want to be overheating.
God, no.
But look, this is the second part in our Op Frocks special.
Yes.
And of course, Op Frocks is short for Opportunity Frocks.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't listened to the first episode, Op Frocks was a drag pageant that we ran for 9 years in Belfast, but it ran for 10 years in total since 2008 before we retired the show in 2017.
We did.
And we were talking about really the first couple of years. We were sort of just covering off some of our earliest memories and so on. But we're going to continue that today because we've got from 2013 right through to 2017 to cover.
That's it.
So let's get to it.
Yes.
So,
go.
2013. So I think this was the year that was your favourite.
Yes,
particularly because of the musical chairs between two contestants.
Yes. At the very, very end of all 10 contestants, 11 chairs, and the music and the tension. And I think it took like a year or two for the drag queen musical chairs to become people's favourite part of the night.
Yeah.
And it whittled it that way down to two of the queens.
Yeah.
One was Misty Falls, and the other was Anna the Tank.
Yes.
And I will never forget, I was so taken by the atmosphere, the cheers, the claps, because there was one chair, there was two queens, it was Benny Hill music playing in the background, and they were gunning for that. And the moment the music stopped, Misty Falls dove for the chair, as did Anna the Tank, and they were pulling it and grabbing it and swinging each other.
You had to interject.
I had
so many times. Right, enough. Put the chair back down. Let's go again. Yeah. And I think we must have done that about two or three
times because they weren't going to get anywhere because one was as strong as the other.
Yeah.
And then it just was. It was perfect. It was drag queen spectacular.
And you know, if you watch this video back, you have to watch you, because you seem to be having the best time. You were in fits of laughter. You were literally in a wrinkle.
I was.
I mean, so was the entire audience. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was just the funniest spectacle, wasn't it? And again, it's so simple.
So simple, so basic, so easy, and everybody loved it. And then the winner was Anna the Tank.
Yep. Off that round. And in fact, Anna went on, of course.
Anna went on to be crowned the queen, the winner that night. And Anna was one of the first curvy queens we've had.
Yeah.
And she was very nervous and she was very apprehensive, but she kept pushing herself and pushing herself.
Yeah.
And I'm still in contact with Anna.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Well, where is Anna now?
She's in London.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, she's not doing drag, is she? Or
no, she's not doing drag, John. And the way I am a real, especially when it comes to social media, I don't really get the trickery of social media. Yeah. I'm never going to get it, so I don't try to learn it because I don't really care about it. But what I do use social media for, plain and simple, is positivity.
Yeah.
And every now and again on Instagram, I send those positive and
Memes, things, yeah.
they've got those,
Reels.
but some of them are a wee bit sweary.
Yeah.
And when I get the really good ones, I go in privately and send them. And every now and again, it'll be to John, and he'll say, "Oh, hey, Mama T." Say, "Oh, thanks, Mama T. Really needed to hear that today." And I'll say, "Yeah, I'm really good, honey. How are you? Loving life, getting on with it,
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be about drag. It's just connection and communication, which are crucial.
Yeah. So 2013 contestants.
Oh,
Here we go.
Go.
Anya Bex,
Wow.
Penicillin. This is the first year that we have
First.
Penicillin actually
On her own.
She's the second time on the stage, but first time ever
Competing.
as a contestant. Anna the Tank, Shania LaRue,
Right.
Fifi Geisha,
Wow.
Crystal Star, Misty Falls has returned, Miss Moneypenny,
Wow.
and Coco Chanel come back as well.
Brilliant.
Do you remember Fifi Geisha's performance that year? She and Daniel had done almost like a
big
contemporary dance routine. Do you remember? And
Yes.
it was
Daniel
such a-
May.
Yes, Daniel May.
Yeah, I remember.
Um,
And she ran and she jumped into his arms,
did, yeah.
and it was quite dramatic.
yeah,
It was beautifully done.
it was.
Beautifully done. I remember it well. And I thought, wow, that's really beautifully done. It wasn't a big, dancey, crazy, wacky number or anything. Do you know what I mean? Everybody was mesmerized by it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really lovely. I thought it was actually extra special to take that gamble and do like a piece of art.
yeah,
Choreographed art
yeah.
was so unique. It was beautiful. And I think, was he masked? Did she have a mask?
No.
Might have been the makeup.
No,
Could have been the lighting.
There was no makeup. No.
Oh, no, you mean there was no mask?
There was no makeup.
Okay, there was no makeup. Right, okay.
There was no mask. Yes, you're right.
Right, okay.
The Queens come out and they done their performances.
Uh-huh.
So we had Miss Moneypenny, her performance. She had done like Belfast.
It
It was English to
dialogue.
Yeah, it was English to Belfast
Fast.
translations.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Uh-huh.
And it was like,
It was like, can you tell me where the Falls Road is? Here, where do you live?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much like that.
It was very good. It was very smart. It was very witty. I remember that as well.
And then we had the Mistress Anya Bex come out and done her Kylie Showgirl number.
Yes.
And was head to toe in ostrich feather in a nice blue dress.
Yep.
And we had Shania LaRue, the formidable Shania LaRue,
Miss Shania LaRue.
come out and sang Sweet Caroline.
She didn't. Sweet Shania LaRue. She sang.
Sweet Shania LaRue.
Sweet Shania
Shania
LaRue.
LaRue.
Ba, ba,
Boop,
ba.
boom.
Good
So she did.
times never. She's still going strong, that one,
Yes, indeed.
Miss LaRue down in country in Oma.
Oh.
So she is.
Oh.
All the girls down there refer to as Mammy.
Oh.
Fair play to you, Miss LaRue.
So-
Looking fabulous.
The promo for that year was yourself in the Kremlin with dancers doing Let's Have a Kiki. Lock the doors.
Yes, I remember the Follies from our show on a Friday night in Cafe Vaudeville. Viva Vaudeville.
Yeah.
I remember. Yes, Let's Have a Kiki. I remember that one. I loved that. That was good.
It was sort of like a mashup between Let's Have a Kiki and Vogue.
Yeah.
And that was another one of my favorite promos.
Yeah.
Just
That
because
was brilliant.
it was, well executed. Song choice
Yeah.
was brilliant, and you had dancers. It was like it
Yeah.
was, and again, that was the kind of the level of promotion that we were putting out there at the
Yeah.
time for this silly wee drag show on a Saturday night. In
Fundraising
Belfast.
event for Belfast Pride Committee, and there we were in the background doing all this, putting all this production together, the choreography, the costumes, the time, and the recording, the editing for that one night. That's how in love we were with what we were doing.
This was the year of the bed sheet.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember this, but we were trying to source a projector screen and we couldn't get one. It was short notice for our opening number. We were going to project onto it. And I rang my husband, my boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
I rang my now husband. I rang him and asked if he could get one of our gorgeous crisp white bed sheets
Yeah.
and if he could bring it to the Empire. And Andrew Johnson Best, who was our stage manager, and again, kudos to Andrew, he helped us out every single year religiously.
What a dope.
Was, props to him for stage management, and for for managing the Queens and getting them on stage on time. But there's a video, there was a documentary that was being done. I'm almost sure it was this year. There was a documentary being done called Life's a Drag, and it featured Fifi Geisha, and it featured Misty Falls.
Yeah.
And it followed a drag queens around the UK, basically.
That's right.
In the background of while Misty Falls and Fifi Geisha are being interviewed, there's our Andrew trying to mount my bed sheet to the back wall because we didn't have an actual projector screen. But no expense spared in terms of the production quality at Opportunity Opportunity Frocks.
Definitely not.
So look, we're rolling out of 2013, and of course, as you've already mentioned, Anna the Tank won that year.
She did, and I was so glad she did because it was so special, and secretly deep down and said I wanted her to win from the get go. I just looked at her and I thought I would love you to win this, and I think the crowd, the minute she stepped out on stage, just embraced her. And then we had her down at the Sunday Bingo show as well, and they all loved her. What a following, what a queen. She was just fabulous.
So we're rolling out of 2013 into 2014. And the queens that year were Miss Candy Carousel, Sasha Fierce, Penicillin's back for a second time, Alexis McQueen, Joan Rocks, Lucinda Pink, Mary DeMoney, Tiffany Lovestick, and Vicky Ryan.
Oh my God. Vicky Ryan is my nephew.
Yes.
Yes. Jamie Ray. First time we've ever had a contestant to enter Opportunity Frocks who was non-verbal and non-hearing. And we then got an interpreter.
We did.
To sign the entire competition.
We did.
Which was a beautiful thing to do, and it made it extra special because Vicky came second.
She did,
and I remember being so emotional because, as you well know, we don't know who's going to win, we don't know who's placed, we don't know anything, and I take nothing to do it because the envelopes are handed to me at the very minute, and I find out when they find out.
You do. And again, just to provide context to that, so we have independent judges who come along, and we swap them around every year, and some of them are drag queens, some of them are personalities who might be known on the scene.
Hospitality managers, bosses, club owners, entrepreneurs, salon owners, all of that. Showbiz personalities.
Exactly. For Northern Ireland anyway, they're people that are well known. And we give every judge a score sheet, and on that score sheet they get to choose 1 to 10. And they can give 10 points to whomever they want. They could give 10 points to every single contestant if they choose to. But we were asking them to score the queens based on personality.
That's right.
On their look, were they funny? How did they conduct themselves on stage? Were they entertaining? So it was really up to the judges. And what would happen at the end of every round, I would run by them and I would take the sheets off them.
Score sheets.
Take the score sheets off them, and they would be folded in half and popped into an envelope until the end of the show. And we would do that the same of every round. And then it's only, as you've already said, myself and Peter Hamill, we would go through into the small room at the back, and we would start to total up the points. And it's only at that point then we would know who's won. And it is only whenever you're on stage and you're reading the name out do you actually know.
Yeah. That's the best way, because I'm as pleasantly surprised as everybody else is.
And to be fair, over the years we did give you the chance to know beforehand, and you've
and
always
like,
said, no, I want to be surprised.
I want to just
with
hand me the
audience.
envelope and I'll read it out. Who won that year?
That year, Candy Carousel won.
We missed Candy Carousel.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. Is she still going strong too?
Absolutely.
It's that Opportunity Frocks magic wand. You get that little touch on the nose and that's you. Off you pop.
Yeah, I think it's
Sprinkle
one of those
your magic
things
dust.
where people have really used it as a platform, which is
Yeah.
what we always envisaged it to be.
That's what we wanted for it. That recognition.
And some people have really just sort of took that and went, well, again, as I mentioned earlier on, people are wearing that like a badge of honor and sort of going, well, I've been on that stage. This was the biggest stage for drag in Northern Ireland. I've been on that stage, therefore, you know, you should hire me because I've done that. And there's many people on our list as we go on are still working today, as we've already talked about. You know, some of the biggest names in drag in Belfast didn't necessarily start on our stage, but certainly have came through our stage, which is, I suppose, which is a nice testament.
Absolutely.
So the promo for that year was yourself and the green screen again doing Can You Feel It? And that was the year that we had a brand new design.
Yes.
We changed our entire typography. We changed our entire look.
Yes, we did. And it became very neon and bright, and I loved it. And it was, can you feel it?
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Boom.
Such a cracking promo, that one.
Oh, that was
really,
great.
really enjoyed that.
That was my favourite.
Did enjoy that. Do you remember as well that, I mean, this is something that perhaps maybe it's slightly insignificant, but we introduced Slido. And this was whereby the audience could also vote.
Yes.
And we were able to judge how the audience were perceiving the acts as well.
Yeah.
And that gave us such like a different dynamic.
Absolutely.
And actually, whenever we get to 2016, that was actually quite crucial. We're getting to the point where we're like, well, the audience, let's give them the power to decide.
Absolutely.
But anyway, look, we're in 2014.
Yep.
Candy Carousel has won. And we're now rolling in to 2015. Just before we do that, we're going to take a very short break. We're right back after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sips and Giggles with me, Tina Lakes Tantrum.
And me, Glenn. Hi.
Hi.
So we were chatting just briefly. We covered off 2013, 2014, and we're now rolling into 2015. Contestants.
Go.
Sabrina Bewitched.
Wow.
Kitty Cat. Barbie BB. Lucifer. Chantel Perez.
Yes.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh my God, Miss Bonnie and Clyde.
Blue Hydrangea.
No way.
Azuro Pendergast.
Little baby.
Dakota Phoenix.
Yes.
And Kitty McVitie.
Wow.
So a couple of big names in there.
Absolutely. Azura Pendergast being one of them.
Absolutely.
Blue Hydrangea.
Baby Blue Hydrangea.
And the one and only Miss Bonnie and Clyde.
And Sabrina Bewitched.
I was just about to say, and Sabrina Bewitched. Wow. It just makes you sit back and you think, wow, they were all there. They were part of our gorgeous wee journey.
And I was watching some of the videos for this today, and everybody looks so young.
Even us.
Even us.
Even us. Even
I had a
me.
head of hair.
You had a head of hair. I've ruined your hair. I've left you near baldy. That was 2015 was wow.
It was a really strong year, to be fair.
Yeah, the competition that night, that was one of the, I would say, strongest, because every single contestant brought it to the stage. I remember sitting looking and going, this couldn't get any better. And then when we got to the musical drag queen musical chairs, sorry. And then when we got to Showstopper, I literally was, do you know the way sometimes I think, I know who's going to win this. I had no clue.
Yeah, the Showstopper performances were exceptionally strong
Completely.
that night.
And I'll tell you one of the other things I thought, these are the new queens on the block. These kids are going somewhere. These kids came here with conviction, and they're going to be around because they haven't come here to play. They came here to pray and slay, and they still are. You know, Sabrina Bewitched, Azura Pendergast, Blue Hydrangea, Bonnie and Clyde, you know, and everybody else who's out there who's ever graced the beautiful stage of the Empire Music Hall where we host and hold Opportunity Frocks. And, you know, look what's happened ever since.
Absolutely. And I mean, especially the likes of Blue Hydrangea, of course.
Wowzers.
Not everybody will watch RuPaul's Drag Race, but of course, Blue Hydrangea took part in the very first UK episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. And she didn't win.
No.
But she represented us very well.
Beautifully.
Her looks were insane.
Yeah.
She's a very talented queen. She
Absolutely.
paints herself like chef's kiss exquisitely. She can do.
Oh.
I think she said on RuPaul's Drag Race that she sees Blue Hydrangea, her drag, as a high school art project.
Yeah.
And boy, is it that. She's always turning these weird looks and they just look brilliant.
Amazing.
And of course she didn't win, but she came back to do RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the world.
That's right.
Where she actually won. UK Drag Race versus the world, and of course she's now known worldwide.
Yeah.
Global. She's
universal.
A global phenomenon.
Yeah, phenomenon.
You know, and again, I mean, we can't take credit for
No.
Blue. Blue's
No,
she's exceptional, but we can take comfort knowing that she graced our stage.
She did.
Once upon a time.
Yeah.
You know, actually, she graced our stage twice.
She did.
She didn't win in 2015.
No.
In fact, it was Sabrina Bewitched
That's
who won
right.
in 2015, but not to be, deflated. Blue then came back in 2016, and we'll talk about that in just a few
Yeah.
moments. But the other standout thing for me that year was Chantel Perez.
Yes.
I remember that queen coming out, and she danced her backside off that night. Like, that performance that she gave was
Ferocious.
It was next level. It was fierce.
It was complete, ferocious, victorious. Like, just even now when I think back to her performance that night, I was in awe because she's so right up my drag queen alley. The choreography, the attitude, the gritting of the teeth, the command of the audience. Didn't she jump down into the floor at one point?
She did, yeah.
And then get up on top of the bar?
Yeah.
And I remember looking and thinking, yes, queen. And they adored her. They adored her. And that's why I couldn't wait to get her up there Sunday Bingo show.
Her outfit she was wearing this long blonde wig.
Uh-huh.
And then on her shoulders and around her waist was more wigs.
That's right.
And she was flipping. It was the hairography.
Yeah.
The hairography of that. And it was mad. Like, the energy was
crazy.
Just, yeah. So good. So good.
Absolutely sensational.
So we rolled out of 2015.
Yes.
We're now getting towards the penultimate Opportunity Frocks. Like, did we have a conversation around this time? Were we starting to say we're running its course?
No, I don't think we did. I think, we went into 2016 thinking, here we go again, and we just got on with it, and we done it. But I think what we started to notice was other things in our lives were happening.
Yeah.
Other things in our lives were taking shape, and we were going in not different directions, but there's other things that we wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
And it would have taken an awful lot of dedication for you to do what you wanted to do, me to do what I want, and Peter Hamill as well. And to get Opportunity Frocks to where we're finished in 2017, we had given everything there was to give.
Yeah.
And I think by 2016, we were looking at each other and thinking, I don't know if there's any much more we can do.
But we never really had a conversation about it.
Not in 2016.
So just before we move on to 2016, the promo for 2015.
Uh-huh.
This was the one where you went into the Empire.
Yes.
And it was yourself and the contestants of that year.
Uh-huh.
And we shot the music video for, it was Dance the Night.
Yeah.
It was like, hate. I don't care what these girls say.
That's right.
Again, I mean, I'm extremely biased because right now you probably notice I love all of the promos, and I'm saying every single one of them is my favorite. But I remember hearing that song randomly. And I remember sending it to you going, I think this would be like a good concept for like the Queens. It's like, it's called Took the Night. That was the name of the song.
That's it.
And I thought, this would be a really good concept. What do you think about doing this? And you were like, you were totally on board for it. And we got the Queens and all. And actually the video turned out really well.
It did.
It started off with them, sort of sitting there in the bar, sort of like almost bitching about you. Who does she think she is?
Yeah. I remember saying it.
And you sort of burst through the door with your gorgeous real hair
wig.
And it was so much fun. But yes, like we're rolling into 2016, penultimate year of Opportunity Frocks.
That's right.
Contestants that year was Dakota Phoenix,
gorgeous.
Ivy Rivers.
I remember Ivy.
Azura Pendergast, she's back for her second year.
Yes.
Lady Up the Duff.
Wee Lady Up a Duff.
Alexis Cox.
Yes, I remember Alexis. I remember that night.
Kitty Cat.
Kitty Cat.
Mars.
Mars, yes.
Blue Hydrangea.
Wow.
And our wild card.
Yes.
Tanya Body.
Oh.
Now, this year we done things, as I mentioned already previously, we done things slightly different. We done a live reveal. Can you remember that Peter had set up in your living room and we went live across all of the socials?
Oh, yes.
And you done the reveal live on social media, across
social
YouTube
media.
and all the rest of it. And again, it was kind of like we were really trying to push the envelope of, how do we keep people excited and interested about the show? And we're totally utilising all these sort of new technologies that were being made available to us.
We did, and we were constantly pushing and trying and experimenting and grasping at like, let's try this. So the love and the passion was still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's never left us anyway. And that I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah,
I thought that was brilliant. And if I could, in the, they have that 1.5 minute to go on and do something at the very start of Opportunity Frocks in 2016, right? And it's like, I'll never forget Alexis Cox was about to go on and she was dressed as a cowgirl. And she just looked at me and I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm going to do line dancing, Tina. And I said to her, have you ever done line dancing before? She says, no, I haven't. You mad? And I nearly fell off my heels, killing myself laughing. But by God, she took it by storm and she winged it.
And do you know the reason why she was doing that? Can you remember? Was because again we changed the format that year.
That's right, we did.
The previous years we had done Hollywood Heroine, and then we changed that to Tea with Tina. And then this year we changed it to Talent. And we turned it into like Britain's Got Talent style.
Yeah, you've got 1.5 minutes to impress us and the judges.
Yeah.
And and you get points for it. You can do anything you want. It could be drawn, it could be dancing, it could be knitting.
I think you said knitting. You did. You sort of like, it could be knitting, it could be drawn,
you
it could
do
be
whatever you want.
want.
Yeah, and they did. They brought it. Like they all brought it. It was like, or you could read a poem or whatever.
And Peter had figured out a way to use like PlayStation controller buzzers.
That's right.
And hook them up to his sound system, so the judges could actually press this when they had enough.
Yeah.
To boot the act off the stage.
Boot them up, yeah.
Do you remember?
That was so good.
It was such a genius thing.
And that was also the night that Azura Pendergast, when she done a bit of ad lib that night. And she was really, really, really funny. And she was talking about Pamela Ballantyne. And she shocked everybody because she was genuinely hilariously funny. That was the night I thought, wow. And then we done the drag queen musical chairs, and then we done the showstopper.
We did, and some of the standout moments, and actually, to her credit, this was the first time that Tanya Body actually had me in a wrinkle.
Yeah.
I know that Tanya listens to the podcast.
I know she does.
And I know she'll take that in the spirit for which it's intended. But she came out and was hilarious.
She was.
I can't tell you what the act was about.
No.
I just remember she had a trolley on stage. There was stuff in it, and she was just making comedy out of nothing.
She really was, and I think because of the very fact that she was taking it seriously then.
She was.
She was taking it seriously, and I think it's because she wasn't in it the year before.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
know,
I think from memory, she had thought, well, she's already had her go. She's not going to be
Yeah.
asked back. And I remember you and
Yeah.
I having the conversation
uh-huh.
because I think she'd spoken to both of us at different points when we've been out on nights out or whatever. And it was like, I'd love to be able to do it. And Tanya is a massive, massive fan of Op Frocks.
Always.
She had her own podcast at one point, and she invited me on to talk about my experience with
Yep.
Op Frocks and so on. So I know that she's seen this as really, like, for her to be asked back was a big deal for her,
And she really made the most of it.
and she did. She really
she
did.
had everybody in stitches. Do you know why? Because she found herself funny.
Yeah.
And she was laughing coming on, knowing what she was doing was totally drag queen ridiculous.
Yes.
And she just went with it, and she had everybody in stitches. But she had a trolley, a full-on shopping trolley,
Yeah.
on stage, and she married the comedy with the props,
Mhm.
and she done her homework, and it really came across.
It did. Other standout moments, though,
Mhm.
so obviously we talked just a few moments ago that Blue Hydrangea
Yes.
took part this year, and of course the winner of this year was in fact Blue Hydrangea.
Blue Hydrangea.
And it's the standout moments for her during her talent. She came out with herself and 4 puppets attached on bamboo canes.
Bamboo canes, that's right.
Something that she's actually replicated again. I've seen on RuPaul's Drag Race. Only
Yeah.
it was so elevated compared to what we got on Op Frocks.
Yeah.
But it was her as the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
And it was her dressed as Jerry,
Yeah.
and she had the other Spice Girls, as puppets, and she was able to control all 4 of
Yeah.
them, and that was her talent round.
It was brilliant.
But the standout moment for me was Blue Hydrangea's showstopper.
Yeah.
She came out as Rita Repulsa from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
Oh.
and her outfit, she looked like Rita Repulsa, and she had 2 dancers, which were the Putty Men. I don't know if you ever watched Power Rangers. Maybe
No.
so it was kind of thing for me when I was growing up. That was kind of the Power
yeah.
Rangers, but the outfit and the mix was. It was insane.
Yeah.
She deserved to win. She was, her look that night was just brilliant.
Incredible.
Really, really good.
Well deserved.
There were other notable moments as well, of course. We had Dakota Phoenix that came out and done pole dancing
Oh my God.
on stage.
Incredible.
But yeah, it was definitely a standout year. And I think and I remember after 2016 finishing, you and I sort of talking about, like, we were riding on this constant high
Yeah.
of it's getting bigger every year
Yeah.
and every year. And then it was when we were coming then, as 2016 was sort of rolling to an end. And just
Yeah.
as an FYI, the promo for that year was again you on the green screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a little party, never hurt nobody.
Never hurt nobody.
And again, really enjoyed that promo. Song choice was on point.
Perfect.
Really, really good fun. But Blue Hydrangea won.
Mhm.
We rolled into 2017, and as we were planning
Yeah.
2017, then the conversation started to happen.
Yeah, because I felt it, you felt it, and Peter felt it, and I think we needed to have the conversation with ourselves because to me it was very important to be honest with each other, because where would we have taken it? We couldn't get any bigger.
Yeah.
We were in the same place, which is beautiful, and we love it because that's Op Frocks' home.
Yeah.
That's Op Frocks' headquarters. And we couldn't do any more production because I felt that we had done 9 years, 10, if you count my year, and I really felt that it would be better as hostess to leave it on a high.
And you were absolutely right.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right. We were selling it out every single year.
Yeah, we
We had
were.
limited tickets.
Yeah.
We were selling out constantly.
Yeah.
And you're right. And it's kind of like, well, you sort of rest it. Sort of, we go out on
Park
a
it.
high, knowing that the show was at its peak.
Yeah. And I think it was very important for us to look at each other, sit down with each other and say, listen, this is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? And we were all thinking the same thing.
We were. Yeah.
And what the beautiful thing was, we all went, so this is it. This is it. And I think it was nice not to tell anybody. Let it happen. Let it be what it is. And then say, look, that's it.
And there was an audible gasp in the room whenever
Yeah.
you read it out.
That's it. And I think it was a nice way to do it because it was the proper way to do it. You know, Opportunity Frocks happened for a beautiful reason. And we took 9 glorious years out of our lives to dedicate it to our scene, you know, and our Pride Committee. And I felt so strongly that we could have done more, but I really felt that Opportunity Frocks deserved to be put back in the box.
Yeah.
Turn the key, but leave the key in the lock.
So we're into 2017. It's the final year. Promo for that year was you again on a green screen.
Yes.
And it was One Night Only from Dreamgirls.
Yes.
Again, great song choice. Contestants for the final year were Blaine Johnson.
Yes.
Nancy Screw.
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Maura Dara.
Mm-hmm.
Elle Devuse.
Yes.
Holly Go Heavily.
Yeah.
Gia Jones.
Yeah.
Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Stones.
Yeah.
And Kaya Duchenne.
Wow.
So the winner of 2017
I remember was Moira.
It was Maura Dara.
Maura Dara. And I never forget looking at somebody and thinking, oh my God, I think I've just met my match. She was so funny, so articulate, so crazy, and kind of because of what we experienced in 2016, then we went to 2017, and here we have this queen who loves her drag but loves a microphone.
Yeah.
You know, she's a talky queen, real, and didn't really want to put anything together, and didn't really want to sit and sew, and didn't want to put stones on. Give me a wig, give me a bit of makeup, take a seat, give me a microphone. And I think that was the perfect year, because to me, how many more queens are going to do something extraordinary?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Maura Dara, to me, was one of the funniest, and still is the funniest queens I've ever met.
I mean, she managed to offend everybody, didn't she?
She did. And that's what I loved about her. I just sat there. I remember looking at her and thinking, I adore you. You know what I mean? Because I think when you and I and Peter had realised this is going to be our last one, I was sitting thinking to myself, we picked the right time.
Yeah.
Because she had everybody in stitches, and it was a nice way to go.
It was.
It wasn't this big, high, glossy backing dancers and perfection. No. And
it was her on the stage with a mic.
With a mic, being really just crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy, and swearing and cursing and making fun out of me and everybody else. And she was the deserved winner. And when she won, she was so humbled.
Yeah.
Because she was just having a laugh.
Yeah.
She was up from Dublin. She was on the piss.
Yeah.
She was having a laugh. She was having a few scoops, and she was in this wee competition. And then when she came first, and hundreds of people jumped to their feet for her because she made them all belly laugh.
Yeah.
I thought, Maura Dara, thank you.
And, you know, it didn't just stop with our contest, because during the lockdowns, the Victoria's Secret and Davina Divine, they were doing like this thing called Queens of Captivity.
Oh,
and
yes.
It was like an online drag pageant, all done via Zoom. And Maura Dara was one of the contestants on that, and she was equally hilarious. You know, she hadn't lost it. She proved she was a proper talent, like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's probably one of my favorite contestants of all time. Frankly, because she offended everybody, and
she doesn't care.
And when everybody's offended, nobody's offended. Yeah. Do you know that way?
Yeah. And I love that. Doesn't give a toss. No filter. And if I really hurt your feelings, she just go, I don't care.
It's your problem, not mine.
It's your problem's not mine.
It's your problem your problem you're offended.
Yeah. So good. But that to me was the blessing and the icing and the cherry on the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was a nice way. And then we say, look, ladies and gentlemen, tonight was the last one. Thank you so much for the last 10 years of Opportunity Frocks.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
So just a couple of other fun facts.
Okay.
Because we have reached almost the end of this episode.
Okay.
But we do have Sip and Share.
We do.
We're not going to have time for Iconic Tonic. But we will have a Sip and Share. But a couple of quick facts.
Go.
Most viewed videos on the Op Frocks YouTube channel.
Okay.
Blue Hydrangea, 2016, her showstopper. Naturally, since she's won Drag Race, I'm assuming that people will be looking her up on YouTube more and more.
Of course.
She also comes in second place for the most viewed video. So in third place was Misty Falls Showstopper. That was her doing her number in 2010.
Which was?
It was the Sister Act medley.
Oh, fantastic.
Which was very, very funny. Fourth place was Tanya Body from 2011.
No way.
It was, and I think this was the infamous cinnamon challenge that she tried to do. And then in fifth place was Blue Hydrangea again from her 2016 talent round, which was the one we just talked about with the Spice Girls. However, if we look at the most viewed queens in our top 5, Blue Hydrangea's come in top, of course.
Okay.
Followed secondly by Misty Falls.
Okay.
Third place was Tanya Body.
Okay.
Fourth place is Pauletta Stiletta.
Wow.
And in fifth place was Peaches Monroe.
Miss Monroe.
Some other fun facts. In total, throughout all of our years running Opportunity Frocks, we had a total of 89 contestants, including the 6 that were part of your year. If we remove the duplicates, i.e. the people that have come back and done it more than once, we had 67 unique contestants.
My God.
That came through the Opportunity Frocks stage. And the most popular names for drag queens was Kitty or Lady or Candy.
Lady Kitty Candy.
So there you have it. What a walkthrough.
What a walkthrough indeed. I think that when I hear all that back, it makes me so super, super proud. When I hear all those facts, because I didn't know them, of course. You've obviously been doing more research than I have. Here's a question though, and I'm sure people are looking and listening and thinking, is it going to happen again? Is it going to come back in 2025?
Well, that's a question we just don't have the answer for right now.
I know who would have the answer.
Who would have the answer?
Our listeners.
Well, I suppose that's a very good point. So, maybe our listeners might want to get in touch with us and let us know whether they see there being a need for Opportunity Frocks.
There's definitely a need for it. But is there a want?
We'll have to find out, won't we?
When you think of all the listeners that are out there now listening to our podcast and they've got, I want to be a drag queen. Mummy, how do I be a drag queen? Daddy, where do I go? I would love to be in a competition, or even just bring it back. Bring it back. Should we? Could we?
Well, only time will tell.
Exactly. You're going to have to tune in again.
So, we'll be right back after this.
Ta-ra.
Sip and Share.
So, welcome back. This is our Sip and Share segment. We have got not one but 2 questions this week.
Yes.
The first one, this comes in from WhatsApp. This one's actually coming in from somebody that's anonymous, and it's to us both, Tina. And it's from, as an older woman, so we know it's a female. As an older woman, what would you both recommend as a fun date in Belfast with drinks?
The G&T show on a Saturday afternoon in Union Street. Starts at 5 o'clock and it finishes at 8. The staff are fantastic. The entertainment is unbelievable. And the costs are pretty reasonable.
Unparalleled entertainment, I hear.
Absolutely. The production. No, seriously, I really would. I would
highly recommend that, but if you're looking for something that's a bit more quiet than a bar atmosphere, but you're still looking to have drinks, and if it's a first date, I can highly recommend doing something competitive. I think it gives you the opportunity to be flirtatious, so do something like bowling, where you can have a drink at the same time, and I mean, you get to throw balls down, but ultimately you can sort of have a bit of banter with each other, and it's a bit competitive, and that's just my view.
Okay.
The second one then, this one comes in from someone called Anna. And it's to me. Hi, Glenn. You mentioned a few episodes back we would all be screwed if you learned to play an instrument. So if you could go back, what sexy instrument would you have wanted to play and why? I.e., was there someone who would have inspired you to play that instrument? Well, Anna, the simple answer is I would always love to have played an instrument, but in particular, I would have loved to play piano. And that's really simple as that. Just it fascinated me when I was a lot younger. I liked the idea of writing my own music. I did try to learn piano once upon a time, but I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get the left hand right, and I couldn't read music, so I gave up on that.
Well, if you were asking me, I know you weren't, and it was to you, but if you were asking me, go ask me which instrument would I like to play.
So, Tina, Anna wants to know, what instrument would you play?
Trumpet.
Okay, the trumpet. Why? Is it so you can walk around and play that
no,
sad trumpet
really
noise?
Good. I'm really good at blowing the trumpet.
Not to walk
I would
around
love.
going, "Wah, wah, wah."
Yeah. No, I would love to. If there was one instrument I could love to play, it'd be the trumpet.
Is it just so you could blow your own? Is that right now?
That's it, love. Listen, nobody blows their own trumpet like I blow mine. I love my trumpet. When it comes to blowing, I can blow a trumpet.
Well, look, Anna, thank you so much for writing
Yes,
in.
Anna, darling. Thank you, sweetheart.
And also thank you to Anonymous for your question as well. Sadly, that is the end of
No way.
another episode of G&T Pod.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all those people that took the time to write in a question. And of course, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so. How?
WhatsApp, email, or any of our socials.
Absolutely. And you'll find all of the information on how to get in touch with us in the description of this very episode.
Yes, and let us know what your thoughts on Opportunity Frocks 2025. Should we? Could we? Will we?
Bum, bum, bum. Also, don't forget, if you want to buy Tina and us a drink and you're loving the podcast and maybe you want early access and get exclusive content, including discounts, etc., to our shows, then why not become a Patreon? You can hit us up on patreon.com/G&T pod, and for the price of a drink, you can get access to all this exclusive content.
Yes. So we'll see you all soon, and thank you so much for tuning in. We adore your support.
Well,
Chin chin.
we'll try that one again.
Mm-hmm. So
until next time.
Chin chin.
Sorry.
Right.
Okay.
So until next time, chin chin.
Third time's a charm.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of G&T Sips and Giggles. If you've enjoyed our conversation, then don't forget to share it with your friends, and why not subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Your reviews mean the world to us and really help others find the show, so please take a moment to leave one, but be kind. If you'd like to support the podcast, why not consider joining us on Patreon? For the cost of a drink a month, you can listen to episodes early, access exclusive digital content, and get discounts to upcoming G&T shows. Your support helps us keep the conversation flowing. Cheers, we'll see you next time. Chin chin.